What's up, everybody?
What's up, everyone?
Welcome to Planet of the Klimates. Planet of the Klimates is a community-organized podcast bringing you the latest information and insight into the KlimaDAO ecosystem. Klima is a blockchain protocol backed by carbon credits that gives people a chance to fight climate change as a collective and get rewarded for doing so. Klima sits at the intersection of cryptocurrency, game theory, and the carbon credit market, so there's no shortage of great stuff for us to talk about. My name is Phaedrus, and I'll be your host on this adventure. I'm joined, as usual, by my great friends and co-hosts, Reg and Diamond Hands, as we discuss the latest Klima news, drop some alpha for you, and connect you with the biggest and brightest names currently exploring this space. I'm really looking forward to this one, so let's just jump right into it. So Mobilum founder and CEO Wojtek and Chief Commercial Officer Anik are our guests on this episode of the Planet of the Klimates podcast. If you've been paying attention to the news across the Klimaverse, you might have heard that Klima has partnered with Mobilum recently. We hope this conversation can not only shed some light on what the partnership means for Klimates and others looking to step up their action on climate change, but also learn more about Mobilum itself and what might be around the corner for them too. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us, Wojtek and Anik. I know many of our listeners will be excited to learn from you as a new Klima ecosystem partner. But let's perhaps start off by telling us a little bit more about yourself, your background, who you are, and maybe lead into the idea where Mobilum first occurred to you.
Hello, thank you very much for inviting me. Very happy being with you today, and we are very grateful that we can bring some added value to the climate change and your project as well. Let me start with myself maybe, then I will let Anik to introduce himself. My name is Wojtek, and my idea and vision was always to introduce some technologies that can change daily life of people. So I started my career in 1996, building one of the first e-commerce sites in Poland. It is Polish Amazon, still one of the biggest e-commerce shop here in the industry, in the space. And from 1999, I am in fintech space. So I built several products, I built several solutions, companies, biggest Polish banks and brokerage houses, and some worldwide institutions as well are working today with products and services that were brought and delivered by me to them. From 7-8 years, I'm in the crypto space, in blockchain space, and the same my team. We are very proud of it. We are proud of our history, and we are proud that we were able to provide Mobilum technology and Mobilum as a product to the market. When we started Mobilum a few years ago, we had one thing in mind, to bring back the cryptocurrency word like this currency to the cryptocurrencies. So to make them a little bit as a means of payment. So that's how Mobilum was built, to be the rails for the digital asset space and connected with the traditional finance.
Excellent. And Anik, can you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became involved in Mobilum number 2?
Of course. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me. So currently I'm at Mobilum, the Chief Commercial Officer, as you know. So my background is started as a software developer. And then I got involved in the space a few years ago. I started working with one of the co-founders of Ethereum at Jack's Wallet. That was my foray into crypto. Never looked back since then. I've been working with a few startups in the space. I know Wojtek for a few years now. We started working on some on-off fronts before. And I got involved with Mobilum a couple of years ago, doing business development and partnerships. And here we are.
Excellent. Definitely appreciate that background there too. I know a lot of us have been on journeys in crypto over the last few years, and it's excellent to hear your background and how we've arrived here. Maybe back to Wojtek. Talk perhaps a little bit again about the origins of Mobilum and the solution that you're hoping to provide to the market then.
Mobilum was built a few years ago as a Rails. So basically, we wanted to be a kind of the bridge between the digital asset space and traditional finance. We started as a traditional finance market player. So we are compliant. We are very, let's say, traditional finance oriented, but in the same time, we are very open to the digital asset space. Once we started, there was no DeFi, and people were not, paying a lot of attention with the DAO and the space. We started with the traditional centralized exchanges. So we're working with KuCoin, several other market players. But once the DeFi space started to be very popular, and once the DAOs emerged as the new economy in the space, we opened our solution for this direction. And that's how our project with Klima was built. Mobilum provides technology and the solution which allows anyone who just knows how to use the payment card to buy DEX coin. What it means, DEX coin? It means that using payment card, using wire transfer, you can just buy the coin which is on the decentralized exchange. We have built a technology which sits behind the screen of the regular user, which allows him to buying that using his payment card. And the same is opposite. We are going to introduce soon, together with our friends from Klima, which is the off-ramp. So the possibility to convert the coin back to fiat dollar in order to buy a coffee, get a cup, or whatever the purpose the user may have.
So the my question is actually for Wojtek itself. It's that the new user onboarding to crypto issue it always seems to be the universal pinpoint for all crypto projects. And how does Mobilum tackle the problem? And what makes your solution better than other attempts we've seen so far in the market?
That's a very good question. Let me answer it in this way. So basically, the user who is not familiar with the crypto space, when he starts his journey, he expects that it will be almost the same like with another economy, like traditional finance. So in a traditional finance space, you want to open a bank account, you just download the app or you go to the website, you click, you log in, you go through some kind of the verification. It's something that is very common for people, and then you just buy. So we wanted to provide the same user experience to the newcomers to the crypto space, I would say. That's how it happened that Mobilum started its product and service as a kind of the widget. Because what we saw on the market is that people have trust with some services they are using. So if someone is a user of the KlimaDAO protocol, or if someone is the user of KuCoin or another exchange, it means he has a kind of trust with the service. So instead of providing totally different web page that will be used for the user to buy crypto and then they may send it to the exchange or to any wallet of their choice, we build it in a form of the widget which can be placed on such a website. So KuCoin can place our widget on their website. KlimaDAO will have the widget in the colors, in the filling, and it will be placed on their website. So basically, that's one very important factor. So user do not leave the website that he trusts. Second thing is that it's especially in a DeFi space or with the decentralized exchanges, it's not so easy, even for users that are in the crypto space, to understand how it works. So basically, usually if someone wants to have a coin which is listed on the decentralized exchange, first of all, he has to buy some other coin. Using any raise, he has to buy some stable coin or some Ether or whatever else. Then he needs to understand how to send it to some wallet, to some decentralized application in order to receive the coin he wishes to have in exchange. So this whole process is simplified with Mobilum because it's behind the scenes. In our situation, the user just selects how much he wants to buy, provides the payment card details, and that's it.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's excellent. Is it also true? I had read something somewhere that, Mobilum users don't even need to have a crypto wallet of their own just to get started. Is that correct? Or?
So we provide a facility that the user may provide just the email address, and then the wallet can be created later, or he can use our custodian wallet. But this is not something that we will provide in the beginning, because as we assume that the KlimaDAO participants already have some wallets. So as a first sprint, we will require them to provide the wallets, their own wallets, which they have already. But yes, our technology allows people with zero knowledge about the digital asset space to on-ramp and buy cryptos.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, that's what makes us different.
So actually I have a follow-up question on the question that Phaedrus actually asked, because like for myself, when I ventured into DeFi space, right, one of the things that was told to me that it's a must was our hardware wallet. For example, our core wallet, depending on how you want to see it, which is, like we have like Trezor, we have like Ledger, as a way to protect ourselves against, being hacked. So in terms of using a Mobilum app as my main source of wallet, right, what kind of securities that Mobilum has against such attacks?
So it's a very good question. Security is a must. I mean, there is a lot of hacks. Even our technology, we have a DevOps, we have security people, we have hundreds of tries weekly by some kind of the people that try to obey our security features and hack the site or do whatever else. So each company which is in the space has to follow some rules, has to have employees who are keeping an eye on the systems on the daily basis. Myself, I'm also using Trezor, I'm also using Ledger. We are partnering with those technologies. Mobilum is a partner of Ledger. Soon you will see our widgets on the Ledger wallet as well. What is important behind the scenes is that Mobilum has the license to do the custody of the coins. Otherwise, we would not be able to provide such a service. So basically, I would say that it's always like having something more or less secure, having this or this wallet, but we are keeping an eye to have the highest standard of the security.
In what countries is Mobilum currently supported?
We're actually global, except for obviously OPEC sessions countries. So it works. Our technology works in any country, unless you were from, let's say, DPRK or Iran, Cuba, Syria, like any of those sanctioned countries.
So I can just add something to this, what Anik said, because basically payments in general, especially rails, so on-ramping and off-ramping, is a regional business. Why? Because in different regions, there are different acts, different requirements that you need to follow. So we tend to have regional companies with their own licensing framework to be available globally. So this is like a global business, but done on a regional basis. And as Anik said, we are available in almost all FATF-enabled countries. So countries which are not restricted from using financial services.
And is that, just from my uninformed standpoint, is this enabled because of the interface with credit card companies?
So basically, payment cards is just one of the rails that we may provide. We have a banking rails available. We have different possibilities for on-ramping as well. In general, when you are the user or owner of the payment card, I mean, you can fly wherever you want. And in majority of countries, this payment card can be used. It's the same with the acquiring service, which we are using. Of course, we are extending actively our acquire list in order to do local transactions, not cross-border transactions. Why? Because local transactions are cheaper. Cross-border transactions are more expensive. But from the perspective of the countries, I mean, you can use our service almost everywhere.
And that's for both on-ramping and off-ramping? That would be the same?
Yeah. That's true. That's correct.
Oh, okay. So is it possible for me to go country A to on-ramp some Bitcoins, for example, and then after that, use that money to pay for air ticket and fly to country B, and then use it to pay off for something else, both dealing with different kinds of currencies?
Yeah, that's correct. So let's imagine the very simple situation. Myself, I sit in Poland. I have a wallet. I will buy like half a Bitcoin. And then I will fly to US for some conference. By the way, we set up a Mobilum USA. It's our company, our daughter company from the group, which fully covers the US space. And there we can, of course, off-ramp to the USDC service, as you mentioned, or we can just top up US-based card, or there is a service that we are going to introduce in few weeks or maybe 2 months, which allows you just to pick up the cash from the ATM.
Wow. So it's like something like Western Union of sorts, but like all digitally in cryptocurrency, somewhat.
You know what? I mean, it's much easier. I would love to see the situation where there is no difference between the fiat and cryptocurrency. So we want to provide the same rates you are able to use for the fiat money in order to have them for digital asset space as well.
So it's a very important integration because we all view cryptocurrency as having no borders, being a global form of money or assets. And so bringing that back into the global world with as least friction as possible is a very important upgrade to the ecosystem.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, it's a process. Have in mind that digital asset space is still a novelty. I mean, even if you will compare it with Bitcoin, I mean, it's just a decade or two. So it's still something that evolves. So basically, you have to have a kind of long term to understand in which direction it will go. And that's the point. So we go market by market, rails by rails, in order to provide the same user experience for using digital currencies, like you could have using US dollars, Canadian dollars, Euro, British pound, or Japanese yen.
That's definitely, the barriers and the roadblocks that you're removing from those on-ramps and off-ramps are pretty incredible. I know, people just getting started on their crypto journeys, it can be incredibly painful. Are there any other, differences like regionally that come up, or it's just really a global solution that you're providing here too?
It's a global solutions. There are countries in which we may limit the service. So as you know, in some countries, you can provide the service with KYC. In some countries, you cannot provide without KYC. There are some different limits, some different threshold. But this is regional. Yeah, so we just have to follow those regulations. We are part of the FATF organizations in US and Canada and Australia and Europe. We fight against money laundering and so on. I mean, in my opinion, digital asset space is something that will evolve. We just see today DeFi. We see some NFTs. There are companies who already use NFTs for financial products, but it's just the beginning. I mean, this space will evolve. Our role, our mission and vision as Mobilum is to provide rails so the space is accessible not only for the experienced users, but also for the newcomers.
Yeah, definitely making it as transparent as possible is excellent for the end user there. You mentioned you're in Poland. You talked about having that US presence as well too. Are we correct in understanding that the actual headquarters is in Vancouver, Canada? Is that correct?
So Mobilum was born in Europe. Myself, I bootstrapped Mobilum like 4 years ago as the fully compliant and fully licensed European group, which allows on-ramp and off-ramp. Then last year, we made a merge with a Canadian company listed on the Canadian Stock Exchange. And that's how it happened that the Mobilum Technologies is headquartered in Vancouver, but this is a POTK. So it's a headquarters, just the holding company, which is listed on the stock exchange. And under this holding company, we have European business, we have US business, we have Canadian MSB business, we have also Asian business. We are currently setting up our business in India. We are looking forward to Africa and South America. As I said, it's a global business, but done by regional subsidiaries.
Got you. Okay, yes, that makes sense then. And I guess with such a global footprint there, is taking action on climate change important for you? And perhaps talk a little bit about how the partnership with Klima originally came about.
It's very important. Climate is something, and climate change is something that can be a threat not for ourselves, but also for our children, for children of our children, for Earth, the place where we are living. So we always treated such things very importantly. They are very important for the whole community, not only for the digital asset space. So yes, we are very happy that such projects exist. And if we can support them, we will just do it.
Excellent. I'm curious again, like with that taking action on climate change, and Klima's obviously taking a big stance and being a big project to help address that. I'm curious if you have any thoughts or reflections on, that role of, DeFi and blockchain and crypto in solving that with your background.
So basically, there is a lot of possibilities to solve such issues. I will give you an example. Years ago, I was involved into some exchange where you can buy and sell energy by itself. Then in Europe, there was a law introduced that by buying the energy, you have a certificate. So you know whether this energy was produced by the green source or whether it was produced by the coal or any other mean. And what happened, market starts to being more and more developed. There are already companies worldwide, like Lego, for example, which wants to buy an energy that is proven to come out from the green production. So they are looking for producers of the energy which have green certificates, but not just bought the certificates, but they really want to be sure that the energy was produced in a green way. And it starts evolving. People feel that the climate change is something very important to them. And it's very good that big corporations go into this direction as well. But as I said, it's the beginning. So that's even more important for me. I'm happy to see that such projects like KlimaDAO came into the life, because they are addressing and trying to solve things which are important for all of us.
Mm-hmm. We just launched Klima Infinity this week, which will allow organizations to publicly pledge their climate goals as an organization, and then show people their progress towards meeting the climate goals through offsetting their carbon footprints using the Klima protocol. And my question is how you view Mobilum helping us to achieve these goals, and how you view integration with Klima.
So to answer this question, we have to say one very important thing. In general, for the DeFi products, DeFi protocols, for blockchain protocols, for digital asset space, the biggest bottlenecks is the easiness of on-ramping and off-ramping. We believe that the most important thing that we can deliver to Klima ecosystem is the ability of our tools, which will and may increase the liquidity of your solution, the liquidity of your tokens, and the accessibility of the ecosystem from different parts of the world. That's what we can bring to this ecosystem by providing our secure, safe, and fully compliant rails.
Yeah, it's a very important piece, the onboarding, and both for individuals and organizations. Do you also partner with businesses to bring assets on chain, or is that potentially a plan for going forward?
Yes, we also provide our solution for businesses. So we have our OTC desk. Currently, we are working very closely with several miners, with also traditional finance economy players like banks, insurance funds, brokerage houses. We call it OTC Prime Brokerage Service, and we provide the possibility to buy and sell digital assets for them in an organized way. We also work with some institutions which can encapsulate digital assets in order to be seen as a financial instruments in a given country. Have in mind that there is a difference. It's an issue for the retail customer to buy something what is seen by the regulation as a financial instrument, while it's totally opposite if you are talking to the traditional finance economy players. for them, it's an issue to buy something which is not a financial instrument. Because they are regulated as a traditional finance institutions, they tend to buy most likely something what is a financial instrument. So basically, Mobilum may be seen as a real bridge between the traditional asset space, traditional finance space, and digital asset space, but the scope of the products and services differs if you discuss with retail market or if you discuss with a professional market. I believe that going forward with Klima protocol, there will be more and more demand from the institutional space for that. And we will be more than happy being able to serve as a bridge for such use case as well.
Well, that's excellent. And I mean, I know with our Klima Infinity that's just launched, accessing those corporate institutional markets and buyers, and just the role that you're playing in facilitating that is just incredible. Right now, the crypto market, I think I didn't check this morning, but is roughly valued at around 2 trillion. On one hand, that sounds like really, really massive, but at the same time, like ultimately, that's really just the same as maybe one mega market cap company like Apple or Microsoft. So, what are your thoughts about the growth potential for cryptocurrencies and the role that Mobilum will help play to realize that potential?
I fully agree with you. If you compare traditional asset space, I mean cryptocurrency space, with FX or any other, let's say, traditional finance markets, you may say that cryptocurrency space is very illiquid comparing to them. But as I said, traditional finance space was built for several decades, while crypto space is something we just started. So I believe moving forward, digital asset space and traditional finance space is something that will be bound together. I believe personally, in 5, maybe even less years, we will not be distinguishing digital asset space from traditional finance space. I believe that from the technology perspective and the use case perspective, digital asset space will eat traditional finance. Basically, whatever part of the investment or whatever else you will be buying or selling, it will be on some kind of the technology, which today is called blockchain. I mean, it's evolving very quickly. We don't know how this technology will evolve, and what will be the name in the future. But I believe that there is no way back. Blockchain is something that will be the base for all investment products, for all currencies, or any other means we can imagine. And the role of Mobilum will be the interface between a regular user, a newcomer that wants to buy, sell, or hold. That's our vision and mission. And we want to play a significant role in the market.
Now, asking both yourself and Anik as Klima community members now, not necessarily as partners, but as community members, what advice might you have for Klima going forward as a DAO community protocol when you've analyzed Klima as in terms of your partnership process? Was there anything that stood out to you that you'd like to see developed further?
I would say something, because I am an advisor in several other projects as well. I would say just do your job, don't look behind, move forward. That's very important. I mean, people who participate, who contribute the project, they contribute to vision. They want to see that the vision, which was when they were starting the contribution, is still the same vision, that the project evolves, that it moves forward, it solves the problem that needs to be solved. So just keep on going.
Yeah, that's definitely what I see in our DAO is the relentless pursuit. And it's almost challenging to keep up with the developments. And there's just people so passionate about it. So I think we're all obviously excited to be involved in it. And we're happy to have you as a partner as well. This is an important piece to achieving our vision.
I'm happy as well. As I said, this is very important for us. We want to support DAOs, DeFis. We want to support real projects which solve real issues of people. And this is our strategy. This is something that give us the power every day we wake up in order to move on, to see what else can we do, what else can we bring to the community, how better can we be in order to solve everyday problems of people.
So I have this question for both you guys here. The question is, it's always, in the crypto world, we always it's always about alphas, right? And we want to hear some alpha from you guys. Do you guys have any alphas for us listeners here? Is there anything upcoming soon that's really exciting, or something that's around the corner that's going to be launched by Mobilum, or they're going to launch a new token, something like that?
So I will let Anik to continue to answer this question a little bit deeper. But what I can tell you is that we want to bring more and more possibilities. I mean, we would really be happy seeing someone using our service without even knowing that he is buying something what is complicated, digital, or whatever else. Because basically, we are here to make technology more human-oriented, to make things easier for the particular user, to make it more seamless, to have the highest standard of the user experience. I don't know, Anik, maybe you would add something from your side as well.
To add to that, we are obviously partnering with a lot of refi projects in the space to be able to offer this and help this ecosystem grow. And we're adding a lot of more use cases to Klima as well right now. So you're buying, selling, and like what you mentioned, you'll be able to pick up. You can do cash pickups from the proceeds of your crypto that you earn, any of the APYs you're earning. To that end, we want it to be globally accessible. We're aware that certain countries have certain jurisdictions have certain limits on what you cannot do. So that's why we also diversify our product offering. So the on-ramps will be a lot more diversified with a lot more local on-ramps, local banking rails. Same thing for the off-ramps. One of the things that will be rolling out very soon that will be available to your community is to be able to spend Klima for retail brands. What that means is without having to convert your crypto for a high fee and then receiving the wire to your bank account. Let's say you want to shop on Amazon, you could trade in your Klima tokens for Amazon gift cards that are virtual, sourced in real time. So this way you can synthetically spend Klima without actually really knowing how to do all of that, the technical aspect of it, without jumping through. And that will also be available at Visa, MasterCard, open book cards.
That is so cool.
So eventually I can, of course, because as you know, we are all anonymous and the community is all around the world. And, I always have this issue. Like I'm personally, I love Christmas a lot and I love to give gifts around to my friends, right? I could easily just send gift cards to them across the world, in any parts of the world, and they can just enjoy it in the country that they stay. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it's not just for gifting, right? So gift card actually opens up a lot of use cases. By the way, I should mention this will be available in 80 plus currencies across 120 countries, 2,000 plus brands, right? So you'll have the option. And this way, like you can spend $100 with the Klima and get $100 with the Amazon card. It doesn't cost the user anything. And it's not just for gifting. Like think about it this way. Let's say I'm originally from India. I have friends there. What if I needed to send some money back home, right? And let's say I earn in crypto. I liquidity mine for a living, and but now it's very hard to spend. It's very hard. I can send that to India, but they might have an issue converting that. They have to know how to convert Klima tokens ultimately to their fiat. This way, what I could do is directly using that widget on the Klima website, the same widget that I used to buy Klima, I can sell my Klima in exchange for some Amazon India gift cards or Visa open gift cards that I can send right away cross border. So it also opens up doors for remittance, and it also works in developing underbanked countries. So it's giving you the freedom, the financial access to underbanked and unbanked economies. That's where it becomes really powerful. These microtransactions, as you said.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask about. For example, Africa or parts of South America, where, as you mentioned, they're underbanked, the infrastructure. It's almost interesting. They kind of skipped a step, going from having very little infrastructure to many people having mobile phones and relying on internet banking. Do you guys have a strategy to address the developing nations, like in Africa, for example?
No, absolutely. It's of a lot of interest to us. Again, Mobilum is always about financial accessibility, making new bleeding edge financial technology accessible to the fiat world and removing all the friction. Through that end, we are expanding. We are looking at rails in India, Africa, and Latin America. Brazil, for example. Colombia, it's a very interesting market. Again, there are a lot of regional issues that you have to counter as an institution. We're working on those, working with regulators, trying to get everything that we need in place to be able to offer these services. And I think that's why I think gift card is a very good start, because it helps with microtransactions as borderless, as borderless as crypto. Not almost as borderless as crypto, let's just say, but it allows people in Africa, like everyone has, if they have a cell phone and an internet connection, they can trade crypto, liquidate mine, and then eventually take that proceeds, exchange that for gift cards, and are able to spend that. So synthetically, you're able to spend. Even if a merchant doesn't accept Klima, you don't have to worry about it. Just walk into the store, use the widget to convert your Klima into the a Visa gift card or MasterCard gift card, and pay with that.
Yeah, I think it's particularly relevant to Klima because a lot of the climate action, like the actual physical action, not the financing, is occurring in developed nations across Africa and South America, particularly Brazil. And so linking the financing and the actions that we're doing on the blockchain with the people who are on the front lines, I think will be an important link.
Absolutely agree.
Just going back to the question which Anik answered in a great way, maybe I will go forward with some hidden secrets that we are working in our company on is, we would like to introduce to the market the possibility that you can move value from person A to person B just by using a very simple service like email, for example. We are working on some accessible technologies that will be introduced to the market on coming months that will make using digital assets much, much easier than we experience it today. So I hope that it will be soon, and KlimaDAO contributors will be able to use it as well.
So it's something like peer-to-peer, right? You're talking about?
Yeah. The very easy transmission of value between two people.
Yeah, no, I mean, just when you're talking about making it so simple, I mean, right now there's, pain points when you do want to send things from your wallet to your friend's wallet or something. And I know we haven't expressly talked about, gas fees and all that, but maybe is it possible to just explain how you're able to make things so simple and straightforward?
So there is a lot of protocols that we are working on. Have in mind that we have the rights to custody coins. So we have some rights as a traditional finance institution also in mind. We are working on the offering with the biggest exchanges worldwide to offer IBAN accounts for the users. So basically, we may be seen as a kind of the provider of the custody services. And having that in mind, someone can buy some coins with us, but do not deliver them exactly to his wallet, but for example, to designate them to be used as a means of payment in an easy way. For example, send by email to pay for something.
Yeah, definitely like that frictionless concept there, and not sweating over gas fees and keeping an eye on all that too.
Wanted to add to that, that use case that what you just mentioned is quite ubiquitous in traditional finance. For example, in Canada, we send money via email, e-transfers, right? And having custody bank accounts, that's what they are. Bank accounts are custodian accounts, and that's what people are used to as well. So it really helps with a lot of new users who don't understand the concept of non-custodial and may shy away from the space. This kind of technology, this kind of product offerings to make these things more approachable for them as well.
Yeah, so this is a question that we always ask all our guests in this show. So the year is 2033. What do you see partnership between Klima and Mobilum becomes?
So basically, I believe that our partnership will evolve. We are always working with partners in a way that we provide some additional products and services to the market, and we work quite closely in understanding what are the needs of our partners and what are the needs of the community of our partners. So I believe that quarterly, successfully, we will be able to introduce new means and new ways of making it much, much easier to contribute to KlimaDAO protocols but by its contributors. And I'm pretty sure that there will be a lot that we can bring to this partnership, but also we're more than happy to listen to the community of the KlimaDAO and the DAO as itself. What else can we provide? What else can be built in order to make this project successful?
Thank you. Thank you, Wojtek. It's very heartening to hear this from yourself as the founder of Mobilum, to be, very working in hard with us, hand in hand, to make sure that we carve out services that are specially tailored to the needs of our community at Klima. That's really something very heartening to hear.
Yeah, definitely agree there that, it's great to hear this partnership has, a long future ahead of it too, and pretty aligned on our mission of growing the audience there and removing those pain points, making it easier to get in and out with your crypto.
I would just add one thing. Have in mind, guys, that we are in a very specific moment of time. I mean, it's a blessing that we were given with the possibility to really change the world, really change how the finance works. Thanks to the blockchain, thanks to the solutions which are emerging now, we can bring something significant to make it much, much easier to move value from one person to another. And this is not only a possibility to work in such a great space. It's also a responsibility. So basically, we would like to work with responsible partners, with responsible communities, and responsibility is something what is very important, and it's crucial for our vision and mission. So this is something that we also have to bring together to the community to explain and to move forward with this responsibility in mind. So that's also something very important, which we did not discuss today, but it has to be put as an important thing. Why? Because, as you know, we are a bridge between two worlds, like digital asset space and the traditional finance. If we will not be responsible, this bridge may be damaged, which we don't want to see and we don't want to happen.
Excellent. Appreciate hearing those, Mobilum values there too. That responsibility is definitely great to hear.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for inviting me here. It was really a pleasure to discuss with you.
Thank you to you both. I learned a lot.
Well.
Wow, what a great conversation. It was so great to chat with Mobilum, with Wojtek and Anik there. And I think we just learned so much about, the backstory and the mission, the vision, and towards the end there as well, the values of Mobilum. I really appreciated understanding, the challenge that Mobilum is solving and their unique approach to it as well too, to really be as transparent as possible. And in their mind, that end goal is if people don't even realize they were using Mobilum to get on or off with their fiat to crypto or vice versa. So I just thought that potential was amazing. How about key takeaways from you, Reg?
Really important piece to our to the KlimaDAO ecosystem, bringing people on, like you mentioned. And also, I was interested in the developing nations because, as I kind of mentioned during the podcast, this is where a lot of the work is being done to sequester carbon and maintain wildlife, rainforests, and so on. And so, putting a more tangible link between the developed nations, the blockchain, and developing nations, I think will be an important thing going forward.
Yeah, Diamond Hands, your thoughts there?
So my biggest takeaway was actually the last question that I asked him, which was about 2033, right? And when Wojtek was sharing that, they are here with us, they are very in tune with what we want. So going forward, they are going to build things that are for the community. They are always thinking about the community itself, like how can they serve us better. I think that's a partner that we really, it's a great partner. It's always good to have a partner that always think of that, to always think of serving and always see how can we leverage on each other in that sense. And I that was something that was really heartening to hear, because they are here to serve and here to make us grow bigger, down the road. And that's something that I'm really excited about, this partnership itself.
Yeah, I think as simple and straightforward as it is, and seamless and beautiful as it is to have a widget on our website, this partnership is about so much more than that too. We are going to be excited to show that off with our new website soon. But at the same time, this partnership is longer term, and hopefully we're going to be able to see that grow and bear fruit as Mobilum expands their offerings there too. And I think we heard plenty of alpha that hopefully helped you out in your mission to seek the alpha diamond hands.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So hopefully we delivered for you too as our listeners. And just to remind you, for everything Klima, make sure you're hitting up at KlimaDAO.finance, where you're going to find our shiny new website. Hopefully you're enjoying that. Check it out. And you can, of course, stake, bond, and do all the wonderful things you would like to do with your Klima. But perhaps most importantly, of course, find the Discord community there. We're a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. So we're very much community driven, just like this podcast. If you get there into the Discord, you'll join our community of great Klimates and find so many opportunities to contribute as much as you would like, so you can be as active as you would like to be. We hope you enjoyed this conversation with Mobilum, and thank you so much for joining us. We do look forward to saying hello once again on the very next Planet of the Klimates.